Welcome back to the Band Guide. I'm your band guy, Colin, and today is another video in the 5-Minute Logic Expert series where I'm bringing you 30 tips and tricks for recording, mixing, and mastering in Logic in 30 days. And today we're taking a look at how to make your mix loud in seconds. Now, if you don't know, mixing is not where you make your song loud. When you're mixing, the goal is just to get all the tracks within the song to play well together, to sound good together, getting your tone right, getting your effects right. That's the goal in mixing. It is not to make your mix loud. Mastering is where we bring up the song to commercial volume. So there's a very good chance that your mix, if you export it out right now, is going to sound too quiet on car speakers, on your Bluetooth speaker, on your AirPods, wherever it is that you're listening. And that is completely to be expected. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with your song. But you likely want to hear it at a little bit higher of a level so that it's not way quieter than other songs that you're comparing it to, or you're not turning your volume all the way up on your car stereo. If you even have a volume knob. I don't have a volume knob on my car stereo anymore. Kind of annoying. Anyway, so we need to do a little bit of limiting, which is a core part of the mastering process. Now, you might be thinking, well, why don't I just throw on Logic's new AI mastering tool? I would strongly encourage you to not do that. And that's because the mastering assistant is going to do a bunch of stuff to the master that is going to affect how it sounds. And if you're trying to make mix revisions, trying to improve your mix before you do the mastering, then you do not want to hear everything that the mastering assistant is doing. You just want to hear the mix just a little bit louder, but without any sort of distortion from turning up too loud and getting digital clipping and all that. So in today's video, what I'm going to show you is how to put a limiter on your mix, what you need to be checking to make sure that you're getting it up to a loud enough level where you're going to be close enough to commercial releases, but not too loud where you're getting negative impacts from it that are, again, going to affect how you're perceiving the mix and what you might need to tweak within the mix. So let's jump straight into Logic and look at this. Now, to do this, you need to find your stereo output. So if you select any track, you will see your stereo output. But if you select a track that's within a track stack, you're actually going to see the track stack over here. So you want to be sure to select a track that's going to the stereo output. Another easy way to get to this is through your mixer window. Just go all the way to the right and find your stereo output all the way over to the right. Okay, so here on our stereo output, we want to put two plugins. The first is the multimeter under metering. This is kind of the built-in mastering meter. It gives you everything you need to see in one place. If you haven't seen my video from yesterday, I'll link to that above here. We can check that out. And here we're mostly going to be focusing on this RMS value. I still use a multimeter just in case there's something else that catches my eye. I'm like, I should probably address that. But again, check out the video from yesterday to learn more about this. And then before the multimeter, so after all of your processing, so plugins go from top to bottom. After all your processing and before the multimeter, you want to do under Dynamics, the adaptive limiter. And on the adaptive limiter here, you want to set true peak on, and you want to put your output ceiling to at least -0.3. I do -0.3. That's what I was raised up on. Some people say lower. Some people say -0.1. It's all fine. It's all fine. Don't get too hung up on it. Okay, and then you want to be in a louder section of the song to make sure that you're not turning down a louder section that's later or at a different point in the song. So typically speaking, this is going to be near the end of your song. Here we have kind of the last chorus outro area. So I'm going to pull up the meter and the limiter, and what we're going to be looking at here is for my RMS value to be around -12 to -9. You could look at LUFS, but LUFS are actually measuring a lot of other stuff as well, so I recommend just sticking with the RMS because it's a little bit more straightforward. And let's just see what that RMS level is with just the default 3 decibels of gain added on this plugin. So I'm about -13.3. So if I want to get up to -11, -10, something like that, I know I need to add about 3 more decibels. So we're going to go ahead and go up to -6 or to +6. We're going to add 6 decibels of gain here. And let's look at this now. So that gets me up to -10. And I'm good in terms of level. Now, you want to be sure to check your reduction over here. If for some reason that's going crazy for you, if we look back when I was at -3 or at 3 decibels added, I'm not really getting any reduction. So I know I can push a little bit harder. But you don't want to be getting, 6, 7, 8 decibels of gain reduction. Up to 5 is typically okay, but somewhere around 5, you're going to probably start hearing it making your mix pump a little bit, which isn't necessarily bad depending on what you're working on. But generally speaking, once you start to notice that, it's going to start flattening out the drums a little bit. That's something you might want to scale back a little bit. The goal here is not to make it as loud as we will in the mastering stage. The goal here is just to get it louder so that it's not way too quiet when we're listening to it in other places. Okay, so that's how you make your mix loud in seconds. As you saw, that took seconds, and it would be even faster if I wasn't explaining it. Now, the real secret here is getting a great mix. Your master is only ever going to be as good as your mixes, so you want to get a great mix first. And this trick is going to help you improve your mix because you can listen to it in other places and it won't be so quiet. But mixing is still what you really should focus on first. And if you struggle to get a mix that you're happy with, I want to give you something. I put together a completely free 6-step checklist to a pro mix that just goes through the 6 steps that all professional mixes have and how to do them specifically inside Logic. It's free from the link in the description below, so be sure to pick it up. It's really going to help you out. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. Did you already know you were supposed to do this? I did not know for the longest time until someone finally showed me. I used to be so frustrated with my mixes being quiet, and now it feels obvious and it feels silly. So let me know in the comments below if you knew this already. If you didn't know it, I'd love to hear from you either way. If this video was helpful, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow with the very last 5-minute Logic Expert.
One thing